Welcome to this podcast for Brighton School of Business and Management students studying for the Btec Level 5 courses. For this unit you'll need to satisfy the criteria exactly as laid down in the assignment brief and as described here, but you should wherever possible use examples from your own organisation and the business sector, as well as showing evidence of having studied the unit topics in depth and breadth by referring where appropriate to relevant models, theories and established best practices. To enhance your understanding of these assignment issues, we strongly advise that you also discuss them with supply chain management, purchasing and procurement specialists and with operational and senior managers within your own organisation. Also, be sure to read all of these supplementary articles in your study material. Each section should be approximately 375 words, although this is flexible up to around 450 words, not including graphics or illustrations, so you'll need to keep your responses focused on what is being specifically asked for in each section. Section 1. In essence, you need to explain how a system is planned, constructed and integrated into or with other systems, such as quality systems. You need to present a scenario where a procurement system does not exist and describe what organisational structure, personnel and software etc. would be needed and implemented. There are many articles on the internet covering this topic. Bullet points 2 and 3 should be looked at together. All operational and strategic activities within an organisation are meant to support and respond to the objectives in the organisation's business plans, plans for growth, achieving cost, revenue and profit targets, development or expansion of the product services portfolio, and so on. You need to explain the impact this has on the structure, funding, staffing, resource levels, decision making etc. of the purchasing, procurement and supply chain management functions. Then, in contrast to this, describe what the objectives of the purchasing, procurement, supply chain management function should be and how those objectives should contribute to the strategic, longer-term objectives of the organisation, despite the constraints that might be imposed by the business plans. Section 2. To respond to this section successfully, you'll need to select an actual organisation, your own ideally, but if this is not possible, then an organisation approved by your tutor that you can research. On bullet point 1, just as asked, you'll need to research current and imminent supply market issues and consider the potential impact on the organisation's current and future requirements. A partial SWOT analysis is needed on bullet point 2, identifying threats and opportunities created by changes and developments or trends which face the organisation. On bullet point 3, focusing only on the selected organisation, simply respond as asked. Finally, again focusing only on the selected organisation, simply respond as asked, but only with reference to purchasing objectives and not to strategic or corporate organisational objectives. Section 3. To respond to this section successfully, you should continue to use or focus only on the organisation selected for Section 2. Exactly as asked, having familiarised yourself with the purchasing operation of your selected organisation, you need to recommend and justify changes and improvements that will benefit the purchasing function and the organisation as a whole, and describe any risks associated with your proposals and what preventative measures can be put in place to minimise those risks. Section 4. You could use the organisation selected for sections 2 and 3 as one of your organisations and then select one other, a distinctly different type with different purchasing requirements, and respond as asked, focusing on the impacts on the purchasing operation or function itself, but also outlining the wider implications of this, for example regarding the relationships with suppliers and the contribution to the achievement of the business plan and strategic objectives. Selecting one of your two organisations from the point above, go into detail about the benefits and the improvements in performance that adoption of e-commerce has generated. On the last bullet point, you should focus on the two organisations selected above, but supported by background research on this issue, as well as the actual experiences of the two organisations, as they may not yet have experienced or be aware of all of the potential disadvantages. Don't forget that you also need to add a list of sources of information and references showing any books, websites, articles, case studies, reports, internal documents and people interviewed that you drew on in order to complete your assignment. The sources of information and references are not included in your word count. Here is a list of websites you should find useful when completing this assignment. If you need any further help or assistance with this assignment, please contact your tutor.